What's going on, Tampa? How y'all doing? Y'all looking good. Y'all smelling good. Y'all feeling good? Yeah. Okay. Happy Juneteenth. Just to let y'all know, the reason why I call myself Die Young is because where I come from, the life expectancy is half of 70. I consider myself the William Shakespeare they fear. Edgar Allan Poe with a hip-hop flow. Langston Hughes, who used to walk in the gangster's shoes. I give you street shit. I give you deep shit. I give you sweet shit. But one thing I will never ever do is give you weak shit. Okay? I'm gonna give y'all 3 pieces tonight. The first one is called The Agenda, and it's basically about the plot to destroy black and brown men. There's an agenda against my gender. And if you act like you don't see it, then you a pretender. Now, I'm in no way trying to be an LGBT offender. I'm just a black and brown defender. And my freedom of speech is something I'm never gonna surrender. Let's go back in history if you think I'm mistaken. Start with slavery, a system called buck breaking, where the plantation owners took the rebellious slaves, raped and sodomized them in front of the others to instill fear in all the mothers, fathers, sisters, and brothers. The dominant male begging for mercy with stretched arms. That sadisticness grew so popular that it led to what was called sex farms, where male slaves were bred for nothing more than sexual pleasure. And you gonna tell me there's no agenda against my gender? Fast forward to Tuskegee. Maybe then you'll bear witness. Men being used as lab rats to test the long-term effects of syphilis. Some will justify it by saying that because of this research, today when it comes to this disease, we're able to both treat and prevent. But this experiment was done with neither knowledge nor consent. And if you're still skeptical inside and need further proof, then how about the extent that they went to hide and cover the truth? To combat the uprisings of the 60s and 70s, they flooded the streets with heroin. The after effects could still be seen in cities like Kensington, Pennsylvania, and Baltimore, Maryland. The American dream is really nothing but a nightmare. It's like we at war with an enemy who honestly doesn't fight fair. And every black and Latin man in here has worn Nike Airs. But this here facts. They wanted to put the Betsy Ross flag on a pair of Air Max. And despite evidence to the contrary, we all laughed at Stephon Marbury and felt that his sneaker company wasn't worth anything monetary. And instead put our money in the hands of the oppressors and give power to these sadomasochists and child molesters. Corey Feldman, Todd Bridges, Corey Haim, all revealed the abuse of Hollywood and how it left them with shame. But people ignored it and wrote it off as the price of fame. Epstein Island operated with free reign for over 20 years. And best believe the young boys who were flown there shed plenty tears. During the 80s, the war on drugs swept our nation, but it was just a mask to justify mass incarceration. Because Big Pharmaceutical sells the same substances legally, and government officials take their campaign dollars eagerly. In more than 20 states now, you can smoke marijuana leisurely, and it's only because they could grow it domestically due to recently developed machinery. And if the poppy seed and coca leaf could be grown on U.S. soil or one of its domains, then best believe they will legalize both heroin and cocaine. They say it's about addiction and saving human lives, but it's really because they don't want South American or South Asian countries to thrive. Here's a word to the wise. That stuff don't come in this country on no magic carpet. And the only reason it's a crime is to eliminate the profit from the foreign market. They say, That's why I did this, just in case. See, the minute a foreign leader goes against U.S. policy, he faces CIA assassination. And Escobar and El Chapo were cool until they got political aspirations. They realized they couldn't really profit off the import, so how they profit is off the prison system and the criminal courts. To support the Contras in Nicaragua, the CIA sold crack in every city that had a high population of Latinos and blacks. And since high society likes to get high, they made sure the laws didn't affect those at the top. and differentiated the sentencing guidelines between powder cocaine and rock. The Crime Bill of 94 wasn't about being preventive. It was about giving state and federal governments incentives for harsher sentencing and more prisons that we all know is a fact, targeted men that were predominantly Latino and black. Primetime TV used to be wholesome, both drama and family shows. But now primetime television is like anything goes. The CW network, which was created to target teens, now leads the way in sexual scenes, both raunchy and obscene. And music and television have the power of persuasion, both innocently and controversial. And this is why companies spend millions on advertisements and commercials. I'm gonna speak my truth whenever I touch a podium. If there's no agenda against my gender, then why they promoting sexuality on Sesame Street and Nickelodeon? They reverse Roe versus Wade and consider abortion indecent. But it's okay for children to take puberty blockers and get hormone treatments. There's no agenda against my gender. This ain't the New World Order. But a parent could reassign gender if what they really wanted was a daughter. There's an agenda against my gender. Please understand me. That's why Nas got the best rap album of all time. But it was Little Nas X who won a damn Grammy. So many men are either dead or in prison or on drugs, leaving women as head of the family. And Meg Thee Stallion, Sexy Red, and Cardi B are role models, promoting gender role reversals and men mentalities. And what about the savagery of police brutality and how its casualties are always the same nationalities? And what about the men who sit in corrections? Because the color of their complexion gave the judge a different perception than Kyle Rittenhouse's criminal gun possession. The Constitution gives me rights, and law is supposed to abide. But when my rights are violated, I'm told to still comply. It's a war going on outside. No man is safe from. We've already lost a few good soldiers. Because if they feel you a threat to the agenda, they develop something called cancel culture. And after everything I just said, you might consider me suicidal. Because I'll probably be their next victim once this poem goes viral. That poem's featured on my first book, Evolution of a King. The one I'm about to get into now is in my second book, Pavement Parables. These are poems that I wrote after giving my life to Jesus Christ. One of the reasons why I call myself Die Young is because I died young, but I was born again through my Lord and Savior. There was a time when I was heartless, nothing about me harmless. The devil had me in his harness, covered in darkness. But Jesus loved me regardless. And like Saul of Tarsus, through him I underwent a transformation and catharsis. My heart was full of hardness. Hatred its only contents. Numb from all the nonsense. Moving without a conscience. A product of the housing projects. Low income. But now the Bible is my weapon while I'm stepping for the kingdom. I'm trying to save those decayed souls whose main goals ducking undercover police, working in plain clothes. The same goes for all the Jane Does that like to paint toes, body looking sweet like mangoes from all angles. I'm hoping that they let their brains grow, legs remain closed, because truthfully they all just angels who lost their halos. I used to move cocaine, hoping it made me able to touch that pot of gold that was hidden under the rainbow. Take care of my stable, put food on the table. Wasn't playing with fire, I was playing with a volcano. Betrayal at the hands I thought were closest, ferocious. Drinking and pills had me on the verge of cirrhosis. When I was at my lowest, Jesus gifted me and lifted me, had an epiphany, and through him is where I found victory. Grace was given me, despite my criminal history. To say I don't deserve it, admit it has some validity. I talked to him vividly, prayed with consistency, and now my life is Gucci, like it's tailor-made in Italy. Got rid of my deficiencies, all my inconsistencies. I had to break free from the things that used to hinder me. Gave me this ability to lyrically teach. I say teach, because if you preach, then you limit your reach. I'm not a deacon or a pastor when speaking to the pasture. My vision has me sitting in a meeting full of gangsters. Make them all repent, start believing in the rapture. I'm trying to find the blind so I can lead them from disaster. Open up your heart, I swear the master will come. You can have the 99, I'm going after the one. Jeremiah 29:11, those are words from heaven. Plans to prosper you and give you hope, free you from oppression. God, I got a question. In the past was my lack of progression and on my depression based upon the fact I put you second? Or was it just some lessons that I had to learn and discern, to affirm. Blessings from my father, I just had to earn. I used to yearn for liquor and exotic. I was so psychotic, that Henny and hypnotic, I used to use it like antibiotics. Numb me from the pain. I swear the game almost drove me insane. Temptation still remains. I refrain, no longer entertain. The demons that had once controlled my brain had me moving cane. All I cared about was make it rain. Diamonds on my chain. Please let me explain. My way of living was so inhumane. But once his spirit entered my domain, nothing's been the same. Blessings came once I aimed my focus on this new campaign. It lit a flame, and this I will proclaim, all in Jesus' name. Change and growth are both two different things. God gave me wings. No longer I'm a puppet being pulled by the devil's strings. All my kings and queens, life is more than just some streams and memes. Social media is a machine that this new regime uses as a scheme to disconnect you from your inner being. Addicted to a screen, separated from the Elohim. God is the vaccine I injected all up in my genes. Navigation I'm using while I'm moving, pursuing my dreams, pursuing my goals, uplifting my woes. Hopefully these flows blow and salvage some souls. Now I look back and I know I was tested like Job. Fell in love with the riches off the drugs that I sold. But that road is paved with devilish ways, and the final destination's a cell or a grave. My soul, it was saved, no longer a slave to be the wave and misbehave. No longer I crave, no longer I lust. One woman's enough. Just want someone that I could trust till I turn into dust. Let's go. Thank you. All right, for this last one, I had something in mind, but I want to do something new for y'all. Can I do that? Yeah. All right, in honor of Juneteenth, I haven't titled this poem yet, but it's brand new, so I'm gonna read it off my phone. Sorry, but I just feel like doing it just because of the occasion. You know what I'm saying, the vibe that's been going on previously. Salute to all the poets who got on before me. Y'all were amazing, and so just walk with me. This is so I gave y'all something deep, you know what I'm saying? I gave y'all something, powerful, and now I'm gonna give y'all something with a little bit of flavor, comedy, all right? All right. My first celebrity crush was Janet, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. She had control of my heartbeat. It was definitely her Rhythm Nation. That was up until Mary gave me the 411. And show me what real love is. See, this was around the time Jada Pinkett had me in a different world. And Nia Long made me wish I was a boy in the hood from Crenshaw. Halle Berry had me coming back like a boomerang. Robin Givens made me want to be head of the class. But that Little Kim album cover, Lord have mercy, I had that thing framed up in glass. Foxy Brown could have been my first baby mama. I swear she had me all goo-goo gaga for that ill nana. Both Chili and Left Eye made me never want to be a scrub. And I realized if I wanted some TLC, I had to get it out the mud. I wrote a couple 4-page letters to Aaliyah. Used to wish I was the boy Monica and Brandy were fighting over. And if Beyonce catered to me, I would have definitely been saying her name and went to war with anybody for the chance to be her soldier. As I grew older, the beauty of a Maya or a Mariah would give me thrills. But it was the consciousness of a Lauryn Hill that really gave my body chills. I was more attracted to the Trinas than the Selenas, the EVEs. For Sanaa Lathan's brown sugar, I would have gladly accepted some diabetes. The Nefertiti's and Cleopatras, so regal and majestic. I was a kid in love with feminine melanin, struggling to fit in and be accepted. Too small to play ball, so the mic became my light. I would stay up all night just to write and recite. The pen and pad, I made that merger link. And it was women like Ashanti that made me want to murder ink. The pen became my sword, the pad became my armor. I would go out every Friday, hoping I find a Mrs. Parker. The darker the flesh, the deeper the roots, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I had one girl tell me that my pockets were too loose. Another girl said I needed a D that was 12, like I was Eminem or Proof. I said, well, I do have an 8 mile, and I'm 5'9" like Royce, But if your D needs to be bigger than Sean, then I guess I'm not your choice. It took me a while to find my voice, my charisma, my confidence. But I always knew that dark chocolates had a lot of antioxidants. Looking like monuments, move with such prominence and dominance. They resemble opulence, elegance, so many elements that deserve reverence, strength, intelligence, independence, and benevolence, the evidence that goddesses really exist. Let me add exquisiteness to that list. Radiant, graceful, with nectar so tasteful that water park made me feel like King Triton under the sea whenever I go downtown like SWV. Can't you see I'm totally infatuated, fascinated? Should I be encapsulated, captivated by the magnetic pool of soul food, soul ties? Even with closed eyes, I can still see that black women are gold mines, flesh and bones made of gemstones, not only metaphorically, but historically, the essence of this earth. I didn't need Alicia Keys to show me a woman's worth. I didn't need Jaheim to tell me, put that woman first. I was raised by a queen. She taught me that since birth. Yeah. That's my time, y'all. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. If y'all want to follow me on social media, on TikTok, Instagram, it's DIEYOUNG BX. I'm originally from the Bronx, but I've been in Orlando now for 5 years. I have 2 books, Evolution of a King and Pavement Parables. Like I said, this book is basically like all of my poems up until this point that like got the most crowd applause, crowd reaction. And this one here is what I've written over the past 3 years when I got baptized. All right, so they're $15 each, but both I'll give you both of them for $25. All right, come. I'm at that table right there. I'm approachable. You can talk to me. I'm not bougie. All right, and enjoy the rest of the night. Thank you.